Welcome to The Explainer. You hear about artificial intelligence everywhere, right? It's in our phones, it's in our cars, it's in our creative tools. But here's the thing. To really get a grip on where AI is headed, you've got to look back at where it came from. And that story, well, it's a lot older and a lot more human than you might think.
So let's just ask the big question right up front. Is AI just about, powerful computers and super complex code? Is that where the story begins and ends? Well, the answer is no. It's way older, way more diverse, and honestly, a lot more human than you'd probably guess. It's not just one thing. It's more like this huge collaborative project that's been built over centuries, all based on our quest to understand thought, logic, and even life itself. Okay, so to really understand AI, we need to start with this core idea. It's called an intelligent agent. And it's a pretty simple concept, really. It's just something that can sense what's happening around it and then do something about it to reach a goal. This is the foundation for everything, creating systems that can think and act both like a human and with perfect rational logic.
And right away, this one idea kind of splits the whole field of AI down two different paths. On one hand, you've got folks trying to copy how humans actually think, with all our gut feelings, our weird biases, the whole messy package. And on the other hand, you've got the pursuit of pure, flawless logic. We're talking right thinking, like something straight out of Aristotle's playbook.
And this is where the goals really diverge, right? Is the whole point to act so human that you could fool someone? The classic Turing test? Or is it about just getting the job done in the best, most efficient way possible? A rational agent that always makes the optimal choice. And this is key. Modern AI has pretty much made its choice. For the most part, it's all about acting rationally. Okay, so if the goal is to build these rational agents, where do we even start? Well, we've got to go back. Way back. Long before the first computer even existed, to see where the real ideas came from. Believe it or not, it all kicks off with philosophy. I mean, for thousands of years, people were wrestling with the big questions. What is intelligence? What is consciousness? How do we reason? In a very real sense, these philosophers were the original AI researchers, asking the what-if questions that still fuel the entire field. And look, these aren't just questions for a late-night dorm room debate anymore. Can a machine really be intelligent? Can it have a mind? What about free will? And maybe most importantly, how do we make sure these things align with our values? These are now billion-dollar, real-world problems that developers are facing today. So, if philosophy is asking all the big what and why questions, math is what gives us the how. It's the absolute bedrock. Logic gives us the rules, probability lets AI deal with the messy, uncertain world, and calculus, that's what lets a system learn and get better over time. Without math, AI is just a bunch of cool ideas.
All right, so we've got the what from philosophy, and we have the how from math. The next big piece of the puzzle came from looking at the best example of an intelligent agent we know of. The human mind itself.
This is where the so-called mind sciences come in and give us a kind of blueprint to work from. So you've got psychology, which helps us understand how we think and behave. Then there's neuroscience, which is literally looking at the wiring of the brain. I mean, that's the direct inspiration for things like neural networks. And of course, linguistics. Cracking the code of human language is absolutely essential if you ever want an AI to talk to us.
Okay, so that brings us to the builders, the engineers and computer scientists who take all this amazing theory from philosophy, from math, from psychology, and they're the ones who actually build the stuff. So once we get to the actual building phase, the history of AI is anything but a straight line. It's more like a roller coaster. It kicks off with this explosion of optimism, right? You see the first model of an artificial neuron in 43, Turing's test in 1950, the term artificial intelligence gets coined, but then the funding dries up. We hit these AI winters in the 70s and 80s, where people got pretty disillusioned. But here's the cool part. Every winter just set the stage for a new spring, which led to massive breakthroughs, like Deep Blue beating the world chess champion in 97. And that, in turn, paved the way for the absolute explosion of deep learning that we're seeing right now. Okay, so that's a lot of different fields, a lot of history. How does it all actually, work together? Let's get super practical. Let's take apart a self-driving car
and see where all these ingredients show up.
This is where the magic happens. A self-driving car isn't just one piece of tech. If we use this cool framework called PEAS, that's performance, environment, actuators, and sensors, we can see the whole recipe. The car's performance, being safe, efficient, legal, that's not just code, that's philosophy and math. How it perceives its environment, the roads, the people, that's computer vision and psychology. And the physical parts, the actuators and sensors, that's pure engineering and robotics, inspired by how our own senses work. See? It's a huge collaboration.
So, when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's clear. Artificial intelligence isn't really one single field at all. It's a recipe, a grand collaboration, mixing some of humanity's oldest questions with our very newest technology. It's all part of this incredible quest to understand intelligence itself.
And all this leaves us with a really big question for the future. As we push forward, what's going to be the most important ingredient for the next great leap? Is it just more raw computing power? Or will the real breakthrough come from a deeper understanding of the other stuff, the ethics from philosophy, the insights from psychology, the very nature of what it means to think? Something to chew on. Thank you for watching The Explainer.